Pittsburgh Steelers fans had reservations about the team's decision to hand TJ Watt a 3-year, $123 million contract extension during the 2025 offseason. Watt's new deal made him the highest-paid defender in NFL history before he was leapfrogged by Micah Parsons a few months later. Unfortunately, we were right to fear Watt's new deal. It's not that Watt has been bad, it's that he's been, well, quiet. And at $41 million per season, the Steelers can't afford to get anything but all-pro-level performances. With 10 days to prepare for a home game against the Green Bay Packers with all eyes watching on Sunday Night Football, Watt managed just 3 pressures on 33 pass rush snaps, per next-gen stats. Watt also failed to record a sack or a tackle for a loss in Week 8. If this were just one quiet game, we wouldn't be sounding the alarm. Sadly, what the team thought would be the golden ticket to the Steelers' defense has been just another face in the crowd. The Pittsburgh Steelers should already regret TJ Watt's massive contract extension. Let's give credit where credit is due. TJ Watt is drawing significant attention from opposing offenses. The 2021 Defensive Player of the Year ranks near the top of the league in chips and double teams. But it's what he's doing when drawing the concerning attention. Quite frankly, Watt has not been able to overcome the added attention and stack meaningful performances. The Steelers' 2017 first-round pick has gone 2 straight games without a sack and has just 1 combined sack in his last 4 games. Meanwhile, Watt, who typically specializes in creating splash plays, has just 1 forced fumble through 7 games while collecting a mere 5 tackles for a loss on the season. It's fair to categorize Watt's performance as above average in respect to his position around the league. But for the money the Steelers are handing him, this isn't good enough. He needs to be elite. Unfortunately, it looks like those days may already be behind him. At 31 years old, Watt suddenly looks like a shell of his former self. He's lost a step when it comes to getting after the quarterback, and his inability to generate quick and consistent pressure isn't doing a struggling defense any favors. What's worse is that the Steelers seem determined to run the aging edge rusher into the ground by the end of the season. Watt has already logged 408 defensive snaps in his first 7 games and is on pace to see a career high of 990 defensive snaps per Pro Football Reference. With Nick Herbig being underutilized and not seeing the field enough, there's no reason for this. The inability to keep Watt fresh is only going to hurt his performance as the season goes on. We can't pin the Pittsburgh Steelers' defensive struggles on TJ Watt, but it's clear that he has not been the same dominant player he once was. This already looks like a bad contract for the NFL's most expensive defense. Christian Watson made his long-awaited return to the football field in the Green Bay Packers' 35-25 road win over the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was his first game action since the 2024 regular season finale against the Chicago Bears. Considering the severity of his injury, it was reasonable to expect the Packers to be cautious with his workload, especially given the poor field conditions at Acrisure Stadium. "We'll be careful with him," Matt LaFleur said before the game. "Just get to him acclimated. Initially, we'll be a little more careful with him." Watson played 36 snaps, 56% of Green Bay's offensive plays, and was the only receiver not used on special teams. Still, every time he took the field, he made it count. Whatever LaFleur asked of him, Watson answered. Number 9 hauled in all 4 of his targets and averaged 21.3 yards per reception. For someone less than a year removed from a torn ACL, that level of explosiveness is remarkable. Late in the third quarter, Green Bay faced a 3rd and 7 from the Pittsburgh 41-yard line. The Packers dialed up 3 long developing routes, with Tucker Kraft chipping before releasing. Jordan Love rolled to his right and unleashed a deep shot to Watson, who hauled it in between 2 defenders to set the Packers up inside the 10-yard line. It's no surprise that Kraft had his best game of the season with Watson back on the field. Watson's presence alone forces defenses to account for him, adding a new layer of complexity to the offense. His ability to stretch the field vertically creates space for underneath routes and opens up more opportunities for the offense to attack. "Getting Christian back was awesome," Love said after the game. "Just another explosive player. What we want to be is the most explosive offense in the NFL. We're just trying to find ways to be as consistent as possible because we know what type of offense we're capable of being." It just comes down to making plays, he added. The first half wasn't up to our standard, and I think the score reflected that. Some of our drives reflected that. But in the second half, we were able to do that. That's what we need to be at all times, just trying to be as consistent as possible. Watson also had a direct hand in 2 more touchdowns, both through his blocking. The first came on Kraft's opening score of the game, when LaFleur called a quick pass to the flat. Lined up outside, Watson put Joey Porter Jr. on skates with a textbook block, clearing the lane for Kraft to reach the end zone. The second came on the very first play of the fourth quarter when Green Bay had the ball inside the Pittsburgh 5-yard line. Love handed it off to Josh Jacobs whilst Watson delivered a crucial block that opened a lane to the outside, allowing Jacobs to dodge a defender, make another one miss, and punch it in for the score. Make no mistake, that touchdown doesn't happen without Watson's block. Anyone who's ever heard Matt LaFleur speak candidly about Watson knows just how highly the former second-round pick is valued in the locker room, as a player and a person, and the tape backs it up. This is a guy who gives 100% on every single play. Last season, he ranked just 4th in targets among Packers receivers. Yet he never complained about the lack of targets. Instead, he spent every game putting on a blocking clinic. That's the kind of effort you can't help but admire as a coach, a teammate, and a fan. I mean, just to get him back in the fold, you can see it's just his ability to do so many different things, LaFleur said after Sunday Night Football. He's such an intelligent football player. He's obviously a specimen. It was great to see him get back out there. I know the journey that he's been on. It's been a long road, LaFleur noted. It was a pretty devastating time when you think back to that game versus Chicago last year, and to lose him. He's such a great team-first oriented guy. Just always goes out there and competes, does his job. And I'm really excited for him. Green Bay wisely extended Watson through the 2026 season. He's their most explosive playmaker, and the deal gives him a fair opportunity to play a full season while positioning himself for a larger contract. If he stays healthy, he'll more than earn it, given his value to the Packers, not just as a receiver, but as a complete football player. The November 4th NFL trade deadline is approaching quickly, and the Pittsburgh Steelers rumors are flying. Yet, after suffering back-to-back losses, the Steelers are ready to make changes to their roster right now. On Tuesday, the Steelers worked out a number of safeties, including Darrick, Forrest, Von Bell, and former All-Pro Eddie Jackson. While Jackson, also a 2-time Pro Bowler, has earned the most accolades in the NFL, it doesn't mean the Steelers viewed the 31-year-old as the best player right now. After all, there's a reason he's still available in late October. Evidently, with the Steelers searching for more safety depth, they've opted to sign Forrest to their practice squad instead. Joining the practice squad gives him some time to get up to full speed in Coach Mike Tomlin's defense, but it's possible the Steelers will be forced to spring him into action right away after Deshaun Elliott's injury on Sunday. Forrest brings 40 games, 17 starts, to Pittsburgh. The 26-year-old former 5th-round pick has spent his entire 4-year career with the Washington Commanders, where he recorded 137 tackles and 4 interceptions. Yet, both the Buffalo Bills and Indianapolis Colts added Forrest to their roster this year, only to later be released before making any appearances. Now he'll get another chance, with a team hoping to get their season back on track, and Forrest may be just what Pittsburgh needs. For now, anyway.